This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview.
Joining us today is Jason Brewer, an advisor to the board of Fulcrum Metals, following the anticipated news about the leaching results from the Phase 1 tailings program at Teck Hughes, with the partnership with Extract and their innovative recovery technology. Hi, Jason. I'm very well, thank you.
Good morning. How are you?
I can see we've called you in last minute today. You're outside in a beautiful park.
Yeah, I'm actually attending a charity event here with one of the charities I'm involved with here in Kenya, but happy to take time out and talk about Fulcrum, given the very material news which has come out today.
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately, Ryan couldn't be with us today. He's busy with meetings over in Ontario, based in Canada. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today at Stockbox. Now, there's been much, this has been anticipated by the company, and the results announced today showing initial gold recovery rates up to 59.4%. Now, Ryan, the CEO, has said that he's thrilled with the exceptional gold grades from our initial sampling. This is what was said in the RNS today. Can we get your reaction to this news to start with?
Yeah, sure. Look, I think Ryan sums it up quite well. It's very good news, very positive news. It follows on from a series of even more positive news that's come out. Not just on Teck Hughes, but other tailings resources that have been secured. But at Teck Hughes, already from the sampling results, we had a positive reconciliation on the grade. So the grade assays that we received, that Fulcrum received there, were about 16% higher. We've now got these recovery results, which, as you say, are up to 59%. And, these are unoptimized assays. So there's been no testing of that, no preparation of that material. It's basically come straight out of the tailings dams from 6 locations, a composite sample of 32 individual samples. And typically for this sort of material, you'd expect to get recovery rates of 40%. So you've got a very significantly higher recovery rates for this. So it's another big win for that Teck Hughes tailings resource, which has already got 138,000 ounces in resource. So it demonstrates that, the grade is good and that the recoveries using this extract technology is very positive as well. So all round, very good results. And, I think Ryan is rightly thrilled about them.
Yeah, well, when we spoke to Ryan last time in the last interview he did with us here at Stockbox, he said we have a tailing business in the making of significant scale with industry disruptive technology. Now, as we mentioned, he's not available today as he's busy in meetings in Ontario. But can you go over the concept behind Extract's technology?
Yeah, look, Extract's technology, it's very extensive. It's been, to put it in perspective, you've got Bechtel, one of the world's largest engineering companies that's come in and has partnered with them on this technology and looking at ways that they can apply this, not just to the extraction of minerals from tailings, but also for water. Water is one of the key areas there. This technology, extensively tested, and it's got 40 patents, over 40 patents worldwide. So it's a way of extracting both minerals from a tailings slurry. It's a way of extracting water, and water is fast becoming one of the world's most scarce resources and valuable resources. But it's a way as well. It's not from a gold extraction point of view, it's not cyanide based. So from an environmental, from a sustainability perspective, this technology offers companies such as Fulcrum, other companies in the mineral resources space, an opportunity to use an environmentally friendly processing technology to retreat waste. And that has the potential, as Ryan's pointed out, to create quite a sustainable business on the back of these tailings resources, which are quite extensive there in Ontario, being one of the 5th largest gold producing regions in the world.
Yeah. So these results that are announced today, do they prove that the technology works for the application in gold tailings recovery that Fulcrum are targeting? And how does this validate the tailing business path Fulcrum are heading down?
Look, I think the viability of the technology has never really been in question. It's how it can be applied to these specific tailings projects, because each tailings project has a different metallurgical, each ore has a difficult metallurgical characteristics. So for this technology to be applied here, and it went through leaching test work in Nevada, in the laboratories there, and to come out with results which surpass, I guess, the more traditional technology of tailings for treatment using cyanide and so on, and even grinding of the tailings, which was not done here. So this really demonstrates that it's applicable at this tailings dam, which has already got a resource of 138,000 ounces. So there's no discovery risk there. You've got the resources, the grade is tested positively, the recovery is now demonstrated. So yes, it certainly validates the application of that technology here and supports the whole strategy of Fulcrum of building up a business on the back of this technology, and in Ontario where there are significant tailings dam resources.
So what are the immediate next steps on this journey then? I mean, the RNS has stated further refining testing from TechU's samples and samples expected from Silverknight. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, look, I mean, you mentioned Silverknight there. That's another over 60,000 ounces of resources. So between TechU's and Silverknight, you've got 200,000 ounce gold resource. So not too many junior companies with that resource there in the ground, and which can be immediately looked at, processing and so on. The next steps here, Fulcrum's team are going to take these numbers, the recovery numbers, the grade numbers, and do a conceptual study, a scoping study, just to reconfirm the financial viability. And look, at first hand, I think any investor can look at this and see that it makes sense. The next phase there is additional sampling. And with that, you do the optimization. Again, Ryan was very clear in the announcement, in some of the discussions we've had with him, in that the samples were just straight out of the resource. Like I say, 32 samples from 6 different locations to truly be a representative sample of that resource. That now needs to be optimized. You need to look at, okay, do you need to grind this material? What else needs to be done to basically increase those recovery rates to over 60%? And if that can be demonstrated, then that's a fantastic result. The next step, then, you move into more of a pre-feasibility study. So you're moving to a greater degree of certainty on your costs, on your production parameters, and of course, through the additional test work here on the recovery parameters. So yes, there's 4 stages, moving to 4 stages when you really move forward and look at a development, a retreatment of these tailings using this technology.
So talking about those 4 stages, how quickly would you like to see Fulcrum move through the 4-phase study program? And having got this initial confidence boost, would you be looking to lock up other tailing opportunities in anticipation of becoming cash flow generative and building a tailings RE processing business for the long term?
Look, as somebody that's very interested in what Ryan and Aidan are doing at Fulcrum, I love to see them push forward very quickly over the balance of this year, get that next phase of test work done, get that pre-feasibility study, that economical confirmation there, and be able to push forward. I'd love to see them deliver on that over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. And I know they'd love to do it much faster than that, but they've got to do that work there. In terms of other opportunities for them, you've seen that team do a lot of work and deliver resources very quickly from multiple tailings resources. And yeah, I've got no doubt Ryan's in Canada at the moment. He's certainly not there skiing. It's the summer. Mm-hmm. So this is the season when you can get out up there in that Timmins Gold Camp and really look at opportunities there. And, he's got a great inroad, not just because he's demonstrated very quickly that they can move ahead with some of these resources, but that they've got the technology which both the government, the Ontario government supports, is going to be able to support, and also a major partner in Extract, who's also backed by Bechtel. So they've got all the pedigree that you'd expect to be able to deliver a very good gold tailings, gold business, producing gold without the high risk of discovery. There's very little exploration risk here, as you can imagine, given that this is all contained in a well-defined, well-contained tailings dam facility. So So yeah, I think Ryan and Aidan will be pushing ahead very quickly over 2024, and there's going to be a lot of news to follow through. That's for sure.
Well, that's great. Well, of course, it is big news that you've had today. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us at Stockbox, and no doubt we'll be speaking to you again soon.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.